Okay, everybody, here we go. What's going on with this thing? This is acting very strange. Can you guys hear me and see me? I hope so. Anyway, yeah, this is all right. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Post market wrap up on this Tuesday, January 23rd, 2024. Like this really weird thing flashed across the screen. I don't know. Maybe they're watching me. They're watching all of us. That's a fact here. Let's talk. We have a lot to cover today. Let's start off with this. You and I understand, at least I hope we do. We're pretty much on the same page. And I want to thank again all of you for being here, for everything. You're so great, all of you. But what is happening here, and it's going on in everyone's face, but very few people actually understand that this is a demolition. This is a deliberate takedown of the current system. Step by step, very methodically. This is central banks. They've had this plan for over 100 years to eventually own it all, to twist the system in such a way that they control everything, and it's pretty much what we have now. Let's go. Thank you. Anyway, so what I want to bring this to your attention. Now, I've spoken about this for quite a long time. The Federal Reserve, let's put this into perspective. The system is drying up. It's illiquid, it's insolvent, it operates in a perpetual, constant vacuum. This is why more debt needs to be pulled into the system in greater and greater amounts just to support where we are now. It can't remain static. It must vastly increase every second of every day. Can't stop. And other reasons to pull cash into the now need to be created. For example, war, number one. No other endeavor on this earth, you know what I'm going to tell you right now, generates a need for more borrowed dollars than war. That's it. And this is how central banks have, unfortunately, they put man against his brother or sister until eventually, I guess, will no longer exist. They don't care. They want to vastly reduce the population of the world. I think that's pretty much common knowledge, at least by now here, creating slaves to the current system, having control over people's lives in every way they possibly can. So understanding that the system is illiquid and the system is insolvent, the Federal Reserve has to create ways to fake liquidity, to trick the system into thinking that it's more liquid than it actually is. I've covered this a million times with all of you here. Now, the Federal Reserve has been involved in something called a repurchase agreement, or a repo, a reverse repurchase agreement. And what they do, basically it comes down to this, and I'm going to explain this so simply you're going to laugh because a lot of you probably don't know what this is. But all this is a mechanism where central banks pass cash around between institutions and themselves, vast amounts of cash, just moving back and forth. It's the same amount, or it can vary. This amount of cash can vary, obviously, but it's vast amounts of it which move around from here to here to here to there overnight, blah, blah, blah. This tricks the system into thinking it's vastly more liquid than it actually is. Now, what exactly? It's a shell game. Perfect. Jay Payne. Perfect. Now, this is the last year of the Federal Reserve's reverse repo here. Do you see what's going on? Do you see this trend here? The Fed is stealthily pulling. I can't see they're pulling liquidity out of it, but the mechanism to fake it, okay? Because again, this is kind of where we were at its peak. Now we're dropping down pretty precipitously. This is just a year. This mechanism must be replaced by something else. They can't bring this down to zero without having another avenue to pull cash into the now, or whatever it might be. And for what we're seeing here, obviously, is an expansion of war. How many of you believe that it's just by coincidence? Because I don't believe in coincidences, but that this is happening as war is now expanding around the Middle East and the world. Do you think this is by coincidence? How about no? There is no coincidence here at all. And what the Fed is doing, again, this is fake. This is fake liquidity. It's not real. This is passing around vast amounts of cash back and forth, faking that liquidity. But now the Federal Reserve has a real option: incite war, expand war. Again, no other endeavor comes close to this. So the Fed is monetizing the debt and paying and basically paying for war. Again, who funds all of this? Is it you and me? Do we have a war chest somewhere that the mummy is not telling you about, that we have vast amounts of cash buried or something? No, we don't have it. Okay, it's got to come from the Fed. It's got to come from central banks. Central banks are destroying the system by design. You all know that. Creating slaves to the system, and it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. No matter who sits behind the Resolute desk. And I know how many of you, I don't know what it is. I mean, first of all, let me just say this, and it's kind of funny. It looks like I pissed off a whole bunch of people by saying earlier in my video, and I've said this before, that President Trump is bullish for the stock market. Duh. I mean, is this a big surprise? Oh, no, really? No. Who would have thought? He's incredibly bullish for the market. The market wants him, period, the end. Is the market going to get him? I guess we'll see. But him now talking about corporate tax cuts and stuff. Of course, I mean, you got to be brain dead not to think that the corporate agenda isn't loving this. Look at of course it's incredible. The man loves the market. He loves to pump the market. Every day he came out. What's the market doing? Rah rah rah, record high. But it was a big fat ugly bubble before I was president. But now I love it. Man, he knows how to work the system. He's going to make it easier for corporations to make more money, and that's going to boost the stock market. There's no doubt about it. We're also going to get, again, people, look, I don't know. I know this may hurt some of you to hear, but sometimes the truth is a painful thing. The Federal Reserve, look, under the last few presidents, the Federal Reserve has achieved more power than they ever had in history for all the presidents prior to them combined. These last three have really exalted, or whatever the word would be, vaulted the Federal Reserve into ultimate power. That's a fact. You can't bankrupt the Fed. I remember that big nonsensical thing that was going around. Oh, Trump is bankrupting the Fed. I was laughing. I laughed repeatedly at that. You can't do it. All they would do, again, the central bank is one product, debt. The more debt they issue, the stronger they become. When they have a president or a Congress, whoever it might be, Joe knows. We'll talk more about that later, but thank you. When you have a Congress or a president talking about negative rates, which he did, talking about, the weaker dollar, it's not a weak. And then I was laughing one day. I was watching one of President Trump's rallies, and he was talking about the dollar. We need a weaker dollar. And the crowd is roaring. I'm laughing. I'm going, are these people all imbeciles? Really? How is a weaker dollar going to help them? It's sure going to boost the hell out of the stock market. That's all he cares about. The 1% and 2%ers, they own the vast majority. The elite are those that own the market. And they got very rich under Trump last time. And they're going to get richer now. It's so funny, people. It's, people have been so distracted and deceived and told lie after lie. They just don't get it, man. They just don't get it. But that's okay. Look, you get it if you follow this blog. I don't give a damn about any of it. I don't care who sits behind the Resolute desk. I don't think it matters at all. You know my take on this. They could put a freaking they could put my little beautiful Evel Knievel doll behind the Resolute desk, and it would not make a freaking difference. It could be this. Look what's sitting there now. Is there any difference? I don't think so. We'll put Evel back. Anyway. It's going to be more of the same here. Whoever they put behind the Resolute desk. I'm going to tell you something else. Whoever gets put behind the Resolute desk is a traitor. You know that. They're going to play right into the system. Of course, vastly inflate the debt, kill the dollar as well. They're going to play right into it, although they have no power over that. Believe me, it's the central banks that run it all. But that's where we're going. And soon you're all going to get hip to that, the better off you're going to be. Anyway, so going back to this, liquidity, again, the system demands that debt be pulled into the now in greater and greater amounts. The system is illiquid, it's insolvent. You know that it operates in a perpetual vacuum. So this is going to be traded off or swapped out for more war in 24. We've been speaking about this. You know that we're carrying out all kinds of attacks right now. We're bombing the living hell out of Yemen. And of course, Iran is the big target here. Thank you, Wisco. I appreciate that. Anyway. The only where there's a lot of liquidity is in Yellen's Depends, but we don't want to talk about that at all, do we now? So the dollar knee-jerk higher, little fear in this market, but it didn't stop the S&P 500 from hitting a new record high today. The Dow fell under some pressure. Tech did well. This is, again, look, this is going to be a big year for tech stocks. I've been telling you this since last year. This is one of the main reasons why I started putting cash to work here in JEPQ. You understand? I own a lot of JEPI. I'm buying JEPQ, same time gaining access to commodities. You all know that. I want you to see this real quick. So this is Barron's. They did a little piece. Let's look at this title here. Stocks are threatened by rising bond yields. How far could the S&P 500 fall? Lovely. Okay. At least someone's paying attention to the bond market besides you and me, because this is the key to this entire thing. As we witnessed today, so the 10-year yield came back up. Last time I looked at it, I forgot what it exactly was, but it did come up from earlier. And again, I'm telling you here, people, it's not, just look, it's not going to last. Neither is this knee-jerk high. It's not going to last. None of it is, in my view. We need to understand how things are going to play out here. Okay, I already told you how the market's going to work. All right. We hit record high, another follow-through day with the S&P 500. This does have to give back. When is it going to happen? I don't know. Tomorrow, the next day, it could be a week, maybe it won't. But the market generally, when you make a new high, okay, or two, and it's followed up, whatever, you want to see a drop here. You want to see a drop, a new floor, okay? We don't want to fall back into below where we were before we broke out above the recent high. We want to see that move higher. We buy on that dip. I'm still buying the dips here, people. Again, I got this all over the place. Are you buying the dips? You're buying dips? Yes, people. I'm buying the dips here. I will continue to buy. Look, I don't really care right now. I'm being honest with you. What is happening with regard to the debt market and headlines like this? Okay, I don't really care, because I know for a fact that the Fed, along with central banks, are going to cut rates. Why? They already got the economy by the balls. You see where I'm pointing at? See my mouth? Yeah, they got the economy by the balls. And they got the consumer by the freaking throat. This is what they want to do, what they have freaking done. You get it? Now, they're going to cut rates here, and they're going to inflate more. They're going to propagate war. They're going to fake liquidity. They're going to add liquidity. What are they going to do to prop this up? And again, don't forget, this is a selection year. They will prop up the market. It's not dropping here like this. How far could the S&P 500 fall? How far could it fall? We're in la la land, okay? This isn't real. You know I get it. And I know every single one of you get it here. All right. There's no market. How can you have a market when every fundamental factor that is supposed to matter doesn't anymore? Nothing matters anymore. PE ratios, forward guidance, balance sheets, all this is just gone. All the market cares about is more easy money, and it's going to continue to get it, just like the last three presidents have fed this market, including Trump, lovely man that he is. Okay, come on, people. Wake up. Stop worshiping these things. They're not worthy of it. You understand? These are human beings who really look. They have charisma, some of them, and Trump is very charismatic. Okay. But stop with this. You're putting your faith in the wrong spot. No one's going to save you from this whole thing. Maybe that's what the agenda is, to try to deceive you into thinking that a single person has the power, was sent down by the Almighty to change it all just for you. No, that's not the way it's going to play out, people. Sorry. I know this hurts. I know it hurts to hear this stuff, but wake up to reality. And we're all going to be better off for it. We're taking care of each other, and we got each other, and that's it, man. John Doe, stop supporting the Federal Reserve, man. I'll tell you what I'll do, John Doe, stop supporting JP Morgan. When you stop transacting in Federal Reserve notes or central bank notes, and when you stop doing that, that day, and you show me proof of it, I will close every position I have right now. Is that a deal? Do we have a deal? People, you can't make this stuff up. People can't differentiate it. You want to play the game. Unfortunately, we got to live in their system. So we make their system work for us, not against us. You understand? People like this, they make me laugh. They make me laugh. They honestly do. They don't see a difference between transacting in Federal Reserve notes, working every day so they can borrow those bills from the Federal Reserve. They don't own them. They owe them back to the Federal Reserve plus interest they create out of nothing. They don't see a difference between that. That's okay. But if you're buying, for example, a fund that's going to pay you a dividend every month while at the same time giving you exposure to the long end of the market, then you can't do that. You're very bad. It's a very bad thing to do. No, I'm turning the tables on all this, and so are you. Everyone that follows this blog is so freaking far ahead of the curve. It really gets me excited, if you get my drift. It really does. It really does. Look, we got this down for everybody. Alan knows. Everybody knows. Yeah, Lava, Magic, Mika. We're not going to let these freaks beat us. There is no way I'm going to let that happen to you on my watch. It ain't happening. I don't care if you love Greg Mannarino or you hate Greg Mannarino's guts for whatever reason. If you follow this blog, I will never let you down. I don't care which side of the aisle you're on. I got your back. That's a fact. And look, like I always tell you, oh, that's funny. Mummynomics. I like that. It is. Anyway. And again, we're not always going to be right. And we don't have to be right all the time. We just got to be right most of the time. And we have this down. We know what's going on. If you can't see it by now, you're done, you're lost, and you're finished. Yes, Jeff. I need to go to the drag strip big time. Believe me. I got Coco 24. Yeah. I'd love to see Coco behind the Resolute desk. He's the same color too. He's brown. Anyway, so going back to the market, yes, yes, people I know, and please stop writing to me about this. I see that what's happening to cryptocurrencies. I see the pressure on them, but this is no surprise to anyone. All right, I am not answering these emails. I just delete, just so you know. I've talked about it to the point of where I want to puke, and I'm not doing it again. Everyone who follows this blog knew this was going to happen, or there was a high probability that we would see a sell-off here. That's what we're seeing, and we're going to see extreme volatility. I told you that at the end of last year, but that doesn't mean it ain't a buy. People, in my view, you know my take on this. You know look. I know the crypto hater crew are out here, and they're all going to lose, as they always do, and they have been, unfortunately. But this is, you need some of this in your portfolio, at least in my perspective. Obviously, gold, silver, platinum, palladium, exposure to commodities, exposure to the long end of this market. What else can I tell you? My lions get this. We all know it, and that's where we're. And look, we understand the game. So how can we lose again? All right. Now, what else did I say? Gold and silver put on a gain today. Crude fell under some pressure, still around $75. Good. It's beautiful. It's lovely. We got this down. I think we're pretty much on the same page. So before I let all of you beautiful people go, do you want to talk about anything specifically? Lick silver, get money. I think my licking silver days are over. Maybe. Don't hold me to that. When guitar, I will at one point again. I promise. It's so hard to play in this. I tried to do it, I don't know, a couple of weeks back. It's just an awkward position. I like to play more like this. I was trying to play like that. It just didn't work. XRP, absolutely, people. Come on. You know my take on all this. You know my take on this. What can I tell you? Yes, you can buy this stuff in fractions, even $5. Even $5, okay? I don't know another way to tell you that. Look, all right, look, people, I get it. And I'm not, look, it's play money in a lot of ways, okay? If you want to get involved in cryptocurrencies, which I sincerely believe everyone needs a little exposure to this stuff here. I would say, a pretty decent exposure here, even though I pulled profit at around 38. Now I'm playing with the house's money. I'm just going to leave it there. If we get a big jump again, I might pull profit again and again leave my initial investment there. There's nothing, and that's another thing. You got to get this, people. All right. When you hear, like when I said that I was pulling profit, all right, I got hit from every way backwards. Oh, Greg is pulling profit is dumb. No, you can never be wrong pulling profit. Ever be wrong pulling profit from anything. All right. And if you want to allocate that into something else, then that's fine too. But understand getting exposed. Look to anything, to gold and silver and all that stuff. I know there are a lot of people that want to see this stuff go up tomorrow, and that's not my take on it. You all know my take on gold, silver, commodities. This will right now. This is again it's an opportunity-rich environment. Let them play their games with us. This stuff. Let them suppress risk because the game remains risk on. As you can see, another record high for the S&P 500. Risk on means cash will not be going into in any great amount into commodities yet. When the meltdown eventually occurs in the debt market, cash is just going to bleed out of the debt market, the hemorrhage out of the debt market. Yields are going to spike in an uncontrolled fashion. You know this already. All of you have been well versed to the nth possible degree. It's going to kill the stock markets around the world, but it's going to happen when they want it to. Not now. Not now at all. Okay. And then again, we're going to, just going to see cash move from one set of assets into another. Risk on becomes risk off. It can't possibly be easier. So just, you look at this stuff as opportunity for you because look, we're playing the long game here. Are we day trading? Are we even swing trading? No, we're playing the long game. You understand? All of you do. I know you do. And the long game is the best place to be, in my opinion, right now. And getting ourselves in the right spots now, realizing what's happening here. I mean, people, open your eyes. This is happening for a reason. This with war expanding, there's no coincidence here. There is no coincidence. No coincidence here. How can I get you to remember it? Can I act silly? And maybe that'll make you remember. There's no coincidence. This is happening for a reason right now. Again, the system is illiquid. And then here's the craziest thing. All right, and I've explained this a million times. Right now, the world is immersed, is saturated with debt to the highest possible order. But because of the nature of the beast, that is the debt-based economic model, which is run by central banks around the world, there's still not enough of it. There's not enough debt. That's why the system was locking up. You do realize that, right? The meltdown, the stock market crashed, the financial crisis of 2008, that wasn't really about the stock market crashing. What was going on, okay, was the system was locking. It was locking up. And how did they free it? By massive capital injections into the system. That's what they did to free it up. We're going to get there again. We're going to get there again. There is no doubt about it. But that was the real issue, was liquidity freeze. Period. The end. You all know this, all of you. Anyway, yeah, man, no one's going to save us. The Supreme Court, Donald Trump, nobody else there, man. I'm telling you. The central banks have a long-term plan here, and there's no way to stop it. There's no way to stop it. And the United States military is the enforcement arm of the Federal Reserve, including the black ops and everything else in between. And they will point that weapon at any one person or any group of people that they need to maintain their power. Henceforth, why we're seeing war right now as well. This is a message to the BRICS, a message to Iran. Iran's going to get hit, and they're going to get hit soon. Okay. Don't mess with the petrodollar. They will incite war on a global scale. They will light up the earth. They will halve the population of this earth before they give up that power. That's fact. And I think most of us are probably here on the right page, on the right side of this equation. All right, look, kind of a long video here. I'm going to end it here. Love all of you from the heart. I mean it. Thanks for your support. Thanks for your friendship. Thanks for your love. Thanks for those thumbs up. We could use more of those. Let's get more of those thumbs up. Let's get this video seen. I want to hear from you as well. All right. What do you think about this? Lovely? Fun? See you tomorrow.